Hi, my name is Anne, and I became the owner of a school not so long ago. I'm neither a deputy principal nor a principal. Anyway, soon you'll figure out why I'm the boss here. I live in the middle of nowhere. Not literally, of course. I mean, a few people know about our town, and we seem to be on our own in general. If it sounds crazy to you, let me tell you a secret. There are a lot of such non placevilles on our planet. And honestly, I would have moved from here a long time ago, but my parents are doctors and they believe their duty is to stay here and help the locals. And for me, they are heroes in a way. Not everyone would do this, especially when chances are high that we would make a decent living somewhere closer to civilization. It's easy to guess that there is only one school around here, but we don't need more because there are not so many children here. Until recently, the principal or anyone else wasn't the boss in our school. A bully named Joe considered himself to be the boss. He could keep everyone at bay and no one could control him. They were afraid of him because he's extremely reckless and cruel. He's never heard of pity, subordination, or culture. Honestly, it's gnarly. Sometimes Joe gave me a bad time as well, so I constantly dreamed of him being expelled from school or simply disappearing. But the universe didn't hear me at all, and the local bully kept on causing mayhem. Once a grief happened in our family. My uncle, my father's brother, died. He lived in the downtown capital and was single, so he had no other heirs beside us. He died alone, and we were extremely surprised to learn that he bequeathed to give half of his fortune to orphanages, and the other half of his money was bequeathed to me. It turned out that I lost a family member and I became a millionaire at the same time. I was shocked and overjoyed at the same time. I even asked my parents to let me go to a private boarding school and study there, but destiny had other plans for me. It turned out that the district administration decided to close our school since it was stupid to have 10 teachers that taught 20 students, and we were offered to either find a founder who would agree to invest money in our school and make it private or to transfer to an online school. Everyone was shocked. I mean, of course, studying at home is cool, but not everyone is happy about that. A lot of people didn't like that idea. As for me and my classmates, going to school is an excuse to get out and feel like part of society. And in general, I comprehend information only in person. Online is a disaster for me. We still couldn't get a founder, and so then I decided to become the founder of our school. That is, to invest money in it and become its owner. We simply had no other options. Of course, my parents were against it and asked me to not spend my money until I was at least 18 years old and to think it thoroughly through. But I knew I had nothing to think about since my education was at stake. Anyway, the deal went through, and at that time I was full of hopes and good intentions. I thought that I would be a cool founder. I would suggest some good innovations and rules. In return, I expected that both teachers and students would like and respect me, but soon I realized that I was mistaken. Most people didn't want to study, they didn't want to do anything at all, and they still wanted to get good grades and teachers' approval. Moreover, they sincerely believed that I should help them, and when they realized that I wasn't going to help them idling, they simply made me an outcast. The situation with teachers wasn't much better. It turned out that they literally hated me because I bought our school. They all dreamed of transferring to a big city in case we didn't get a founder, and I ruined all their plans. So almost everyone in school began to hate me. Moreover, Joe was still the boss in school. Everyone obeyed him, not me, and he began to choose me to be his victim more and more often. And there was nothing I could do about it because money bought me this school, not authority. I even tried to introduce my innovations into the school system a couple of times, but I failed both times because I was nobody for both teachers and students. Perhaps the innovations even seemed good to them, but making me fail was a matter of principle for them. You can't even imagine how I felt. I was offended. The fact that such a costly and good deed had such terrible consequences for me hurt my feelings. If only I knew, I would never invest in this school and these ungrateful people. But this was not the only shock. Soon, lawyers of my late uncle's ex-wife contacted me and said that the will was invalidated, so I had to return the money I inherited. As you might have guessed, I had no money, and no one could lend me so much money. I was simply caught in a bind. It seemed that the whole world was against me. Every day I went to school with my neck adroop in order to not see the condemning glances and arrogant faces of other teachers. I had to find a solution, but there was no way out. And even my parents were powerless. They just kept saying that we needed to find someone who would buy the school and would become its new founder. But it was nonsense. Who needed a stupid school in the middle of nowhere? It brought only losses and frayed nerves. I was sure that no one would take it, even if they were offered money. Well, maybe some crazy millionaire like me. You know, we start to think in a very strange way under pressure. My brain surpassed itself, and I had the dumbest idea. I wanted to try to negotiate with Joe and turn him into my supporter. What on earth did I expect to hear when I approached him? At first, he was numb. Joe didn't expect such a move from me, so he just kept staring at me for a while. And then he surprised me and said, "I've got an idea. You'll help me, and I'll help you." It turned out that Joe needed a C in English in order not to become a repeater, and he promised that if I helped him get it, he would help me arrange a meeting with someone who would buy our school. I just couldn't refuse this offer. The next day, I worked up the nerve and I made a deal with the English teacher, promising him a transfer to the capital in return for Joe's C. And most importantly, I had the opportunity to fulfill this promise. Don't ask how. So the English teacher gladly agreed. Now it was Joe's turn. To be honest, I kind of doubted his decency, but it turned out that I was wrong. Joe gave me a phone number and told me to call today. He saw that I was confused, so he added that I would have a conversation with Andrew. After that, he just left without explaining anything more. I didn't waste any time and I called right away. A person on the other end said that he was waiting for my call, and in order not to make me wait in confusion, he continued. It turned out that Andrew had graduated from our school 15 years ago, and now he was a very rich, influential person. When he found out that the school needed a founder, he decided that he would definitely become one as soon as he settled some business. But when he settled it all, help wasn't needed anymore because I had already bought it. However, now Andrew found out about my problem and was ready to reimburse me the costs that I had spent on the school and become its new founder. The deal went through a couple of days later, and finally I was able to get rid of the heavy burden of school as well as return the money to my uncle's ex-wife. I breathed a sigh of relief and became an ordinary student again. In the meantime, the new founder built a swimming pool, a football field, 3 gyms, and turned our school into a dream school. They say the road to hell is paved with good intentions. Each person should mind his own business and do his own thing, otherwise you can get into the same trouble as me. Would you like to become the owner of your school? Give your answers in the comments, like the video, and subscribe to our channel.